So it's official. The Moyes has returned. I can't even be joking right now because this is tragic. This is so tragic. So embarrassing. We've gone back to David Moyes. Now, before I get into this, I want to say this, right? Of course, when we start playing on the next game, look, I'm going to back him, get behind him, all of that stuff. Everyone likes to say when we get someone new. But I don't think there's anything wrong with people making their true feelings felt. You know, I know Arsenal are riding this wave of false positivity right now with their situation with Arteta and just, pretending everything's all great. But I don't think that's something that's probably healthy for us to do, because I think it's important for us to make our voices heard. I think the board would love nothing more than for us to praise them and rejoice and all of that stuff. But no, we should let them know exactly how we feel. So, and I'm pissed off, to be honest with you. But of course, at the end of the day, look, I'm going to get behind it. But I think this is a terrible, terrible idea. And I hope he proves me wrong. I really, really hope that people bring this video up and I look like an idiot. But I'm not confident. 18-month deal he signed. There's no chance. People were saying, oh, maybe we get him on a short term. He wouldn't do that. Why would he do that? They got him on a short term last time, let him go. That shows you how desperate of a situation we must have been. How bad does it look that we let this guy go, brought in Pellegrini on big money. Now we've sacked the big money manager and we're going back to the guy we let go on for short term contract. But short term is the key word, because that's what this board are all about. Everything's short term. No long term planning, no building. We're just always in these situations. I mean, let me just sum up his time at West Ham from the top of my head. We lost a bunch of games by more than 3 or more goals. We lost quite often. I think we had 2 4-1 defeats. I think we lost that 4-0 against Everton. We lost away to, what was that bloody team? Stevenage or something, was it? It was some team in the FA Cup. He threw away the Carabao Cup to an Arsenal team who was trying their hardest not to win it. Bought Jordan Hugill to give his brother a bung. His brother was his agent or something like that. So bought this striker who had a terrible record in the Championship for like £10 million. We couldn't get rid of him. We had to send him out on loan and continue to pay a load of his wages. Shocking. Awful football. Played Hernandez as a target man. I mean, I don't want to be all doom and gloom. I mean, look, he did do some good things. He made an Arnautovic, really brought the best out of an Arnautovic. We haven't gotten an Arnautovic now, but he brought the best out of him. He also improved the fitness and work rate of the team. But again, it's very negative. I remember Stoke were the worst team in the Premier League that season. It was when we was playing Stoke at home, and he was just playing defensive, really defensive football against Stoke at home. It was honestly really horrendous. I mean, some of the football under Pellegrini was bad, but yeah, the Moyes stuff was horrendous. So anyway, this is what they've said. David proved in his short time with the club that he was capable of getting results, and we believe that he will start moving the club in the right direction once again. Oh, so he proved that in his short time with the club. Did he improve it enough to get a job the first time around? Is that what you're telling me, David? That's just complete bollocks. We are delighted to welcome David back. He knows the club well, and he built strong relationships during the time, which will be crucial for the work that needs to be done going forward. And he said, Moyes stays. It's fabulous to be back. It feels great to be home. Jeez, he's really laying it on thick here. I've missed being here because I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed being around the stadium. I love being in this part of the world, and I miss the club, so I can't wait to get started. Typical, new manager talk. I'm feeling very proud that I'm back here at West Ham, but I think more importantly, I'll be looking to see what I can do and what I can make improvements to, how we can get some quick wins. I do believe that we have the squad of players I've got here is a better squad of players than when I took over before, so I'm looking forward to working with them. I mean, it's an interesting one because you look at the squad of players he has now. Like I said, the Arnautovic, it seemed to just really click under Moyes, just the way he played, and Arnautovic as a striker, the work rate he had, being the ability to pick up the ball from deep and drive and run with it, that done wonders for us. And I suppose you have Antonio is similar mould, but without as much technical ability as Arnautovic had. It's just a case of this squad obviously was built by Pellegrini. Is this going to fit David Moyes' style? That's the question. Which is going to be very interesting to find out. I mean, obviously, look, you've got sometimes a fresh pair of eyes and a fresh perspective. Just someone else coming in can then instantly give you, that little bounce. Jeez, honestly, honestly, I can't see. I know everyone's going to say he's the manager now and get behind him. Look, I will, but let me at least get this off of my chest. Let me at least have my little moment. And come Bournemouth, I'm going to be there. And I think everyone should be just singing for the team, turn up in numbers and, support the team. 10 years since they've taken over, I believe. It's 10 years. And I believe 5 years ago they predicted we'd be in the Champions League at this point in time. We are now signing a manager that barely kept us in the league on a short-term contract. We're now re-signing him to save us from relegation in our third relegation battling season out of 4 in this new stadium. This is what we've moved to this stadium for, the next level. David Moyes again. And it's for me, look, Stuart Pearce, I liked him, I think, at the club. So I think he would have some of his backroom staff, I liked. But he's not one of the managers either that is going to really attract players. It's going to be very hard for us if we want to go and sign, top caliber of players. I think we need to then go and sign some gems in the Championship, not Jordan Hugill, Moyes, if you're watching. But yeah, I mean, Chousilos as well. Apparently Chousilos is gone. So we need a new director of football because I do not want to see David Sullivan getting his greasy little hands back on the transfers, even though he probably did have his fingerprints over our transfers. But we need someone whose job it is to identify the players and to scout and all of that sort of stuff. Look, I know Moyes scouted James Maddison. We didn't sign him. Whether that was a Moyes decision or a Sullivan decision, I don't know. But at the end of the day, we were pretty confident Hugo was a Moyes signing. So therefore, he cannot be trusted. He absolutely cannot be trusted to deal with the transfers. We've got January coming up now. Look, we need some players. We need possibly a right back. It's a short term. Definitely need a midfielder, not an attacking midfielder, not a winger. I know nothing about wingers. We need a box-to-box midfielder. We need someone to play in there with Rice. I love Noble. Noble, squad player. He's very important to the team, but we can't just rely on Noble. We need a quality box-to-box midfielder, and we desperately need a striker. Badly. Someone who can play with Allaire. Someone with that work rate. Someone in the mould of an Arnautovic. You're telling me that this was the only manager they could get. I know David Gold apparently really liked him, so whether he's had an influence over it. Yeah, so, I mean, and that's the thing. If the results don't come, the results have to come quickly for this guy because it is really going to turn toxic. I think a lot of us will grit our teeth, turn up, get behind the team, all of that stuff, and hope that the results do turn around. He's not a completely dislikable bloke. It's just, I just don't think he done a very good job here. Narrowly kept us up. I think someone said he had the second worst win record of any manager behind Zola, which I was sure it would have been Avram Grant. But if we'd not won that, if we'd have lost that Everton game towards the end of the season, he would have had the worst win record of any West Ham manager. So positives, there's got to be some in it. We'll just have to see. So let's see what Scott said. He wanted me to let you guys know what he thought. He said, not a great appointment, but he has something to prove and it may work out well for both of us. But he better put out a strong team in the FA Cup, LOL. And he also needs to be back. Yeah, he absolutely, listen, and this is what I said on Twitter. Look, we need to make the signings we need to make in January, like the signings I mentioned. However, in the summer, if he's the guy, they need to back him as much, if not more, than they backed Pellegrini. If you're telling us that this is the guy that you think is the one to lead West Ham to where you want to go and in line with your ambitions, then you need to seriously back him with funds. None of this, oh, well, we're not sure about him yet, so we're not really going to give you, we're not confident giving him money. No, like, this is the guy, apparently. So you need to give him that 100 mil plus transfer budget in the summer. No ifs or buts or maybes. You've got to go and do that. Whether they will, that's another thing, but that's what we've got to hold them to. So, look, there's probably going to be protests. There's probably going to be unrest. We'll see. I just hope that we're all completely wrong and he does wonders. And now he has the team of players. Now he has a squad that's just the right fit for him, and he can do wonders. I'm really not confident, but why don't we get on the false positivity bandwagon that Arsenal are on? And it's great. But no, I just had to get that all off my chest anyway. Look, now we can go to backing the manager and all of this stuff and give him a chance. And again, give him another chance. Let's all give him another chance and see what happens. It could turn out right. But yeah, it's a bit of a kick in the balls at the end of the day. A massive kick in the balls. I'm going to come off here like I always do and think, why didn't I say this? Why didn't I say that? But look, we're going to be talking about it quite a lot. I'm sure the other lads are going to have some videos coming out. Look out for those. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you think about David Moyes? I'm really going to be interested to read what you guys have to say after this. But at the end of the day, like I said, look, I think it's one thing. Look, it's fine for us to vent and give our honest opinions about the manager. But then, yeah, obviously when we turn up, no one's going to be singing Moyes out. Backing him is just going to be turning up and getting behind the team as usual. That's my interpretation of getting behind him. Is just turning up like, not calling for his head, just turning up and backing the team. That's how I'm backing him. I'm not sitting here. I'm not going to start singing David Moyes' Claret and Blue Army. So Bournemouth must win. Absolute must win. And it's a winnable game. It's a very winnable game. He's got some time now to work with the players to get in training. Let's see. Like I said, leave your comments below. One thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.